More than a dozen cars have bullet holes after gunfire on Florida interstates. Coming up at 5, we're hearing from drivers about tensions out on the roads.
Plus, an expected change in e-cigarette policy doesn't go as far as expected. 10 News this evening is next.
You probably heard something about this today. Over the past 24 hours, more than a dozen cars and SUVs had their windows shot out. This was as they were just driving along I-4 and I-95 on the east side of the state. The Florida Highway Patrol thinks they may have found the car driven by the shooter.
Yeah, but until someone is behind bars, 10 News reporter Eric Glasser found local I-4 drivers are still pretty concerned about what's been going on just up the road. The Florida Highway Patrol says the car officers were looking for was found in Jacksonville last night. They're not yet saying whether a weapon was found inside it.
A man.
Talk about lucky to be alive, right? The U.S. military is strengthening its presence in the Middle East amid rising tensions between the U.S. and Iran. Defense Secretary Mark Esper says there are indications that Shiite militias in Iraq are planning additional attacks. The Pentagon has deployed 750 soldiers from the 82nd Airborne to the Middle East. An additional 3,000 are on alert and preparing to deploy.
It's not.
The U.S. military is still fighting ISIS in Iraq, and some are concerned that a complete withdrawal from the country could hurt the war on terrorism. Some specialized troops from the Bay Area are part of that increased response. Brightside's Jenny Dean shows us the efforts from MacDill Air Force Base, which serves as central command for the Middle East. Former Housing Secretary Julian Castro has ended his run for president. The Democratic hopeful is calling it quits a little more than a month before the Iowa caucuses. He made the announcement in a video nearly a year after launching his bid to become the nation's first Latino president.
Very sorry.
Some key dates coming up in the presidential election include the Iowa caucuses coming up on February 3rd, followed by the New Hampshire primaries on the 11th, and the Democratic caucuses in Nevada on the 22nd. The South Carolina Democratic primary is February 29th. A lawsuit has been filed seeking more time to submit petition signatures for a constitutional amendment about legalizing marijuana. Make It Legal Florida filed the 57-page lawsuit in Leon County on Tuesday, challenging a new law that puts additional restrictions on signature gathering. Right now, 227,743 signatures have been collected. In a statement, Make It Legal Florida Chairman Nick Hansen said this: across the board, Floridians support Make It Legal Florida's effort to legalize cannabis for adults 21 and older. Our request is that Florida's Secretary of State count every signed petition submitted by January 31st, regardless of when it's validated. Florida voters deserve to have their voices heard. This was a day when a lot of people went back to work, and it was a nice, sunny, pleasant one. A good way to ease people back into the workflow.
Really nice. Still is really nice out there right now. Temperatures in the upper 70s, kind of muggy. Tomorrow's another beautiful day, and then Saturday.
Yikes.
Yeah, I think Saturday is going to be a little bit on the rainy side. Not all day.
Man, what a difference between Friday and Sunday, huh?
You take out the coats, we put them back in. Take out the coats, we put them back in. It's a good workout.
A bit of Hollywood is here in Tampa Bay. Actor Justin Long is writing and directing a new film called Lady of the Manor. It's set to start filming today in Tampa.
Yeah, some scenes will also be filmed in St. Petersburg later this month. The film is set in Savannah, Georgia, and it's being called a female-led buddy comedy. Hillsborough County leaders say filming the production in Tampa Bay will bring $1 million boost to the economy. The company is hiring locals for the crew, staying in nearby hotels, and eating at local restaurants. After an 11-year-old boy in Minnesota got glasses to correct his colorblindness, he decided to share his vision with the world. He and his family launched a campaign to raise money to buy the special eyewear for others.
Michelle Miller shows you how their vision for the future has been life-changing for many.
Go ahead, put them on.
Oh, the man
really
in the
gets
green.
you, right?
Yeah,
when
be
they
like, this
see
is
it.
what you see. Like,
Can you
this is
imagine?
what it is?
Yeah, he lived his whole life that way.
Yeah, that's
And
incredible.
then now he can see in color.
So the Jones family plans to keep their donations in state, but eventually they do want to help colorblind kids all around the country.
Great job by them. The city of St. Pete is developing a vision for the future, and you can help shape what happens next. City leadership has launched a brand new 30-year planning project, and it has some ambitious goals.
It does. St. Pete 2050 is a new effort to guide St. Petersburg through the next 30 years of growth, starting with a chance for you to voice your opinion about what matters most.
Tonight, we are getting a better look at how often Florida Highway Patrol troopers are stopping drivers for texting behind the wheel. Those fines started January 1st, so it could cost you if you get pulled over. As of Monday, there were close to 1,100 stops and 50 citations were issued. By this morning, there were about a dozen more stops and one more citation. FHP has been tracking the stops and citations since this summer, when the texting and driving law first took effect. Let's get you in the know on some other stories that are making headlines tonight. Parts of Australia remain under a state of emergency as crews struggle to contain deadly wildfires. 18 people have been killed as the flames spread. Dozens are reported missing. The fires are pushing people out of their homes and in some cases left them without access to food or fuel. As the military helps carry out mandatory evacuations, more high temperatures and high winds are likely to add to the problem in the coming days. Body cameras were rolling on police in Alabama as they rescued a woman, this is incredible, being held at knife point in a van. Officers chased down that van as the driver rammed other cars and tried to run over a police officer. Officers were finally able to break into that van and rescue the woman. They took Sean Sanders into custody. He's facing felony charges. Police say he already had an extensive criminal background, including other kidnapping and assault charges. And surveillance video helped detectives in Las Vegas capture a kidnapping suspect. They shared this video shot just before 1 a.m. on New Year's Day. It is dramatic. It shows a woman running from a white sedan up to the door of a home before a man beats her and drags her back into the car. People who saw that video, they led officers to 23-year-old Darnell Rogers. He has since been arrested on kidnapping and battery charges. There's no word on how that woman is doing tonight. It may be the most wonderful time of the year, but it's often followed by one of the busiest times of the year for divorces. One divorce
sort of
lawyer
New Year's resolution idea that I want to change my life. I want to make major life changes, and it starts from scratch, which puts, even the marriage in play.
One divorce lawyer says January is such a popular time for couples to get divorced. He offers a fresh start discount. But on the bright side, he also says there is a decent number of people who decide to give marriage a second chance.
The holidays can be very intense, and sometimes people just reach a breaking point, which, when things calm down, a lot of times.
That attorney says the post-holiday divorce surge is topped only during the month of August, when the kids head back to school. During the holidays, the Consumer Product Safety Commission warned us about tip-over accidents with new TVs, furniture, and appliances. 80% of those deaths involved kids 5 years old and younger. So if you got something new during the holidays, now is the time to get familiar with how to safely mount or place that item somewhere safe in your home. 13-year-old Carly Dorr, she's already made her career plans. The middle school student plans to attend USF in Tampa to become a physical therapist.
And she has dreams of working at Shriners Hospital with children just like her. 10 News reporter Bobby.
Whenever I was a kid.
She knows what it's like. So
what a selfless little girl.
Yeah, she knows that she can help them out. She knows what it's going to feel like. So Carly's outreach is called Carly's Cause. In addition to selling jewelry and some art at local markets, she used crowdsourcing to pay for gifts.
Carly was the first patient to ever use the Shriners Hospital anti-gravity treadmill at USF. She is going to go places.
She's going to have a great career with Shriners.
Yep.
Yeah.